Hey guys, Gaming Off the Grid here. Welcome back to the Desert Island miniseries, where we take a look back in the rearview mirror to a specific year and talk about our favorite albums, movies, video games, and some pop culture stuff along the way. In today's episode, we're gonna party like it's 1999. What are we drinking today?
Today we're drinking Space Station Middle Finger by Floyds. It's an American pale ale.
Sounds like an aggressive little booger. You know the drill. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring that bell icon so you never miss an upload. And sit back, relax, pour yourself a beer if you care to, and stay tuned to this episode of Gaming Off the Grid.
Hey, Sean from the Nerd Lair here, and you're watching Gaming Off the Grid. Now go away.
All right, we are here, 1999. Wow.
I'm 5 years old.
I am like an 8th grader right now, I think, and there's a lot of cool stuff going on. The Attitude Era is in full force. The Monday Night Wars. Bill Clinton's getting impeached for getting his dinghy sipped on.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah, we got all sorts of
Napster was around. You guys remember Napster?
Yeah, I do. I remember downloading songs in my middle school library.
In the library?
Yeah, but dude, why we did it, I don't know, because we could only listen to them on that computer because we didn't have like a...
No, there was no way. So you had to log into that computer every time.
Shenanigans, absolute shenanigans, but... There was a lot of cool stuff going on, and we're going to go through some of our favorite albums, movies, games. If you guys have been around for a while, you know how we do this series. So let's start off with your favorite musical album, because I like starting there because music is what brought you and I together as friends. So it's always a fun topic to talk about because we're very passionate about it.
Yeah, we just love music. I listen to music 24/7, basically. So 1999 was a pretty good year in music. Californication came out by the Red Hot Chili Peppers, which, great album. Britney Spears released an album, which I know Wes really loves.
I love that album, and I don't know much about it. I mean, I kind of know, like, Hit Me Baby One More Time or whatever, but it was all about the insert, man. I remember just looking through. I used to stay with my cousin, and she had that, and I would just look at it and be like, yeah.
And then, speaking of Blink-182, Enema of the State came out, which that album's a staple in the Blink-182 library.
This town needs an enema!
But my album, not surprised, it's a Foo Fighter album. There is Nothing Left to Lose. This is their 3rd studio album, and man, this album is so awesome. The cover is the back of Dave's head with an FF on his neck. Ooh, I have that.
Right on the back of your knuck and feck, dude.
I wonder where I got inspired to do that. Oh, this album. Fun fact about this is the first album that Taylor Hawkins joined the band in, and he's the drummer now, and he's an awesome drummer. I mean, he's no Dave Grohl, but he's pretty incredible. This album has so many great songs, stacked actors.
That's the best one on the album.
It opens up with stacked actors.
Oh.
Give Me Stitches, and then it slows down with Aurora.
Yep.
This album is beautiful. I love it. And I think, if I'm right, they recorded this in Dave's house. Like back in the day, like back in Virginia. This is such a cool
Is Breakout on this album?
I think Breakout might be on
I've always thought that song, the album version's okay, but I've always thought it's a great live song. For whatever reason, they just kick ass on that song live.
There is one song that's a radio hit on this album that is probably my least favorite Foo Fighters song ever, and that's Learn to Fly. But besides that song, I mean, everyone knows that song.
Yeah.
Besides that song, this album's great. I mean,
I love that melody shift 3/4 of the way. The fly alone
when it goes
with
into
me, I can't
the
quite
bridge part is
make
pretty
it
sweet.
alone.
it's just overplayed, it's overhyped, but enough negativity. There's Nothing Left to Lose is my album from 1999.
It's a good
What
pick.
is yours?
I'm gonna go with Silverchair's Neon Ballroom.
Oh.
This album, for me, one, I really like it. I'll never forget the anthem of the year 2000. It was a weird time, Y2K was a thing, and everybody was kind of just, what's gonna happen and all that. And that song, I'll just never forget it feeling like the time for me. Like, it felt like a little bit of a futuristic version of Silverchair. And, that song is incredible. And then, Anna's song is it's just a beautiful song. And the story behind it, what it's about, is just an incredible personal journey that Daniel Johns was going through at the time. So the album is great. I also like that album better than Freak Show. So it went Frog Stomp, which was epic. Freak Show's pretty good, but as a whole album, I didn't connect with it on the same way. And the Neon Ballroom, I was just like, man, this is kind of where I seen that band going. And after that, I'm not saying their work isn't as great, but I feel like that was kind of the swan song album for those original Silverchair fans. that maybe didn't want to adapt and go through their evolution that occurred after the fact. So Neon Ballroom, I love that album.
Man, I'm not very familiar with that album, and I have to give it a listen.
It's good.
But I know it's a good pick since you picked it. Let's move on to movies.
Yeah, this was really tough for me because there are 3 movies that are some of my all-time favorite movies. Kubrick's Eyes Wide Shut came out in this.
Nice.
It's such a twisted movie, just kind of a sexual escapade. It's really dark, really twisted, and a really great film. The other movie that I was kind of teetering on the fence with was American Beauty. I just love the rawness of that, and I feel like it was a snapshot of suburbia in the 90s. The materialistic, people faking their happiness, suppressing their urges, unhappy midlife crisis stuff, teens trying to find themselves.
And it has Kevin Spacey.
Yeah,
which I mean, we probably can't talk about him. But.
he's a weird cat, but he's a great actor. Nobody can take that from him, right? But the movie, just, God, I loved it. So it's really hard not to pick that one. But I got to go with The Green Mile.
Oh, good pick.
The reason I'm going there is, first off, looking back at my life, it's like, man, Tom Hanks has been in a lot of movies that really moved me. And this movie I've probably seen the most out of those 3. And it's a movie to this day. If I'm scrolling around or I don't know what to watch, I will pop that movie in. I love the, I think his name's Wild Bill, the bad guy that's just like a hellraiser, and he like, Percy Whitmore do a dance, what him machine in his pants, you know, just got like this funny ass guy in there, you know, and it's kind of weird with the spirit thing, but it's, overall, I really like the movie. I think it's a good time capsule for that era, and it just is an epic performance by Tom Hanks. So.
That is a great pick, and it comes in a 2
yeah.
vinyl.
Vinyl, yeah, VHS.
Vinyl VHS.
These are vinyl VHSs.
Yeah, vinyl VHS.
Yeah, man, it's pretty neat. And you know, if you're a VHS fan, you can find this just about any time you walk into a thrift store for a decent price. So.
And this is in really good shape.
Yeah.
My movie from 1999, I actually didn't see it till I was in high school. And when I saw it in high school, it kind of changed my life. And that's 10 Things I Hate About You. It's kind of, you know, a love story. Like in high school especially, I was like a hopeless romantic, and I love that stuff. So I like fell head over heels with this. Plus I was a huge fan of The Dark Knight, so Heath Ledger. Yeah, you get it. But dude, this movie, it's just, I love the cuteness of it and like how he keeps fighting for her. And I loved it so much that I had a film company in high school, and we made a parody trailer of this movie called 10 Things I Love About You, which is really funny. After seeing this movie in high school, kind of just changed things for me. It's such a good movie. I love when they're like paintballing. It's awesome. It's such a good movie.
I need to see it more. I do remember liking it, and I remember seeing it a couple different times, because back then if you rented the movie, you were going to watch it more than once, right? But I don't own it, which is a problem, and I haven't seen it probably in whatever it's been, 20 some years.
Wow.
So yeah, that's pretty wild. It's time to talk about the video game that you love the most from 1999. Just get it out of your system. Everybody knows what it's gonna be.
Okay,
here we go.
I'm gonna tell you what it is after we talk about this beer.
Doing the old cliffhanger, I see.
This is the Space Station Middle Finger by Three Floyds. It's an American Pale Ale. This was given to us by Steve over at Power Gauntlet. Thank you so much, Steve, for giving us this beer. And what do you think?
I think this is a great representation of the style of an American Pale Ale. It's only the second beer we've had from Three Floyds, but we've heard great things from people who know a lot about beer. And this is pretty much in line with what I expected it to be. I'm not like, oh my god, best American Pale Ale I've ever had, but this is true to the style. They did it right. This is a good beer.
Yeah, it's exactly what you just said. It's a straightforward American Pale Ale, nothing fancy, no frills, just straightforward. There's a slight hop component, but if you don't like hops, it wouldn't bother you. It has a slight mouthfeel. It has pretty good flavor. I feel like a lot of people would like this. It's just a good straightforward pale ale.
A very sweet, like on the finish, there's like a sweetness, and I don't know what fruit that is. A lot of times with IPAs, it's more of a grapefruit, but for me, it's kind of more of like a guava or something on the very end.
I could kind of take,
right on the swallow is where I picked that up, and it's very enjoyable. It like arcs on the front of my tongue anyway on that finish, but I really enjoyed this beer. I'm very excited that we have one more Three Floyds beer to try. It's another pale ale, but I really want to get a lot of things from their brewery because I think that they, I can just tell they know what they're doing.
They know what they're doing. And speaking of knowing what they're doing, let's move on to video games. I'll tell you since you really want to know, but you guys already know. It's Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1. I've talked about my love for this entire series. This isn't my favorite in the series, but this game started it all. This game doesn't hold up as well compared to the other ones because it came out in 1999, but it's still fun to go back and play it. It's still exactly how you remember. The soundtrack's incredible. It's just a great, straightforward skating game. And it started my love for the series.
It's got that blue card!
Yes, it's freaking awesome. So that's my game from 1999. What is yours?
It's definitely WrestleMania 2000.
Ooh.
I played so much WCW vs. NWO Revenge. Always been a wrestling fan, but I was not the biggest WCW fan. I always knew what was going on, but I always felt like the WWF was like the spot. I always felt like it had the better product. I always felt like it had the most up-and-coming talent. And when THQ and WWF got the licensing situation figured out, I could not wait to play this game. Now, when I rank this looking back up against No Mercy, it's like 1A and 1B, but at the time, when this came out, I probably can't say there was a more anticipated game than when I got this. I could not wait to see the WWF universe brought to the THQ feel on the N64, and they knocked it out of the park. The game is absolutely fantastic. This series of wrestling games holds up so well. The games play just as I remember them.
Yep.
The controls are so intuitive. They're so precise. They make sense. Yeah, the graphics, you know what? They're a little dated. But if you're not a graphics person, honestly, this game kind of, like when we played NFL Blitz a while back, a couple drives in, you don't even, the game plays so well, you don't
even
care.
Notice the graphics. You get into it and it's like, dude, this is freaking fun. Who cares?
And it controls well.
Yeah.
And this is a wrestling game that I truly feel like any wrestling fan owes it to themselves to play. If you missed that generation of wrestling games, whether it's because you were from a different generation or just because you glossed them over, you gotta play these games. They are the gold standard. They still are the gold standard. And WrestleMania 2000 is my game from '99.
That is a fantastic pick. And these are some fantastic choices
from
1999. I just want to say thank you to Chum Nasty. He's the one that suggested the year 1999. So thank you so much.
Appreciate it, man.
And if you guys want to see us do another year, let us know in the comments below.
Yeah, for sure. And this was the end of
a decade.
The 1900s, yeah. Y2K
century, yeah.
Y2K was a cool thing. It's one of those deals, I'll never forget it. I was sitting in my bedroom. My house was pretty quiet. And I was wearing my Y2J shirt.
Of course.
Watching it happen, and when the ball dropped,
You were ready?
Dude, I turned on my computer just to see if I could log into the internet. And this was dial-up. I just wanted to make sure that everything was okay. And it was. We're still here. And look at us now.
Here.
Yeah, we're still here. 2020. Wow.
20
years ago. I can't freaking believe it.
That's
we always
nuts.
appreciate you guys tuning in and subscribing to the channel. Thanks for traveling back to 99 with us. We'll see you next time, right here on Gaming Off the Grid.
We talk about this beer. Spoiler
cliffhanger.
alert.
Doing the old Sylvester Stallone.
You've been struck by a smooth.
You've been struck by Annie. And she's not okay.
Annie, you're okay. You're okay. You're okay, Annie. Annie Oakley.
That's what the song's actually about.
Yeah, it's about Annie Oakley and her rifle.
Annie, are you Oakley? Are you Oakley, Annie?
I was one of the first ladies doing a rifle.
Oh, she was married to Mark.
Doing a pocket rifle.
Pocket rifle. Oh, yeah, growing up, like, everyone had pocket knives. I had a freaking pocket rifle.
Hey guys, Gaming Off the Grid here. Hey guys, Gaming Off the Grid here. Welcome back to the Desert Island miniseries, where we take our Hey guys, Gaming Off the Grid here. Welcome back to the Desert Island miniseries. I can't talk today. Yeah,